Okay, everyone, so I'm back with all the goodies, and just in case I'm not sure the order of how this is going to go because the finished product I think is going to be at the beginning of the video. I don't want to repeat everything again, but we are on day, can you believe it, 29, which is my day, and one day away from the end of Creep on, hashtag Creep on June 24, which is kind of sad. Again, amazing kit. It took me a while to get started because my brain got overloaded with ideas, and the more I watched everybody, the more I had to change things. So we're going to get to the construction. I may not talk a lot through this. We'll see how it goes because I like to talk. And I may speed a lot of it up, but I know there's parts you'll want to see. And I know from the Christmas one, you had put comments about wanting to know how the lights were done because you know there's going to be lights involved. Um, and I decided to make a book box that you could keep on a shelf, and it's going to tell kind of a story of my day. And for me, my day revolves around the church. So this is the church. This is the tag that was in mine. This is bigger, of course. And then this tag, which was a double, and then my card or my day, the saying is they were in communication with a gentleman who had himself been a reverend at the church, which stood on the site in the 1700s. So for me, this is after they were having the seance, and the new reverend was there who was related to this reverend, and they were talking and talking about what had happened and that they wanted to be seen and known that they were there and needed their place. So I decided to base mine around the church. So, of course, it's got to turn into something complicated, as everything of mine does. I have bits and pieces in my mind of what I want to do. I'm hoping it works out. It took me quite a while to figure out this book box the right way that I needed it to be. And hopefully I don't screw anything up along the way to where I have to put pieces together because my brain gets out of itself. So let's get started on that. Again, coming to the end of hashtag Creep on June 24. I'm day 29, and of course, Tracie will end it for us on the 30th. So let's get started. And I know you can't see it, but if you could see around me, it's a little bit crazy. So I have some things laid out here. I have clips holding some things on just because I needed to see the process. But I started with a file folder, which is in here. Let's move these out of the way because I don't need these. So we're going to move this out of the way. And I'm sorry about the lighting. Again, my lighting doesn't matter how many lights I have on, things just don't work. So you're going to see a lot of shadows, but I can't do anything about that. And you'll see different pieces on different days as well. So this is what I started with, was one file folder. And I just needed it to fold and make a book. So it's going to have a larger spine over here and then a smaller spine over here, because when it folds, this one needs a 1/2 inch, and then when it folds this one needs to be an inch because I need the spacing in between both sides for what I want to do. And if the video's at the beginning, you know what I did. So anyway, I know this is going to seem so weird to do it this way, but I don't know how else to do it because I don't want to start the video here and then put that there and do a anyway, you know me. So here we go. So it started out as a file folder. I would love to show you all of this, but this took me days to figure out. Again, my brain going faster than, my hands can go. And I kept messing things up, and then ideas come to me as I'm working. This is going to be different for anybody that wants to make it, depending on the size of your paper you want to make it. I do have a Word program, and I spend a lot of time in there adjusting sizes and making different things. So these were the tags, and I'm keeping it to a tag, Tracie. It's just going to be a tag book box. So I wanted to keep the shape of the tag, and this was the original tag put together. I now have 6 of them. They are my background papers. And then underneath them, I also have a thin piece of I want to say it's like a book board, but I bought these off Walmart online a long time ago. I have them in black and a brown, and there's different thicknesses you can buy. This is for what I need to put in between and what I need to cut out of. And then it also has on the one side and the front side, it'll have a thick piece of just a piece of a box, because this is where I will put the battery for the lights for what you saw. I'm going to keep saying for what you saw. This is so weird that it's, I'm not there yet, but it's the finished product's going to be at the beginning of the video, so you'll see it then. But anyway, so that's that. And the middle piece is going to be a little different. And as I was making it, I had something that flipped down, but as I got doing it, and I know I'm jumping ahead, but I just have to show you guys where I'm at right now. This is going to go in here, and this is going to kind of, oh, here we go with the not speaking, kind of signify if you're opening the back doors to the church and looking out behind the church. So this is what this is going to signify, and then there's going to be something up here. So this was going to be up here and fold down, and then something's like, oh, you could make this actually the doors that open out to the back of the church. So that's what that's going to be. So this is where this part's going to come in. So now we need to get this all together, and I can't glue everything because I have to do different things separately. So I have to start with the front. So I'm going to fold this, and I can actually take this off of here because I don't think this is going to affect that. So we can work on the front. So what I did here is I did this. I bought some really cool photo matte paper. It's satin, so it's not glossy. I know it looks shiny in here. That's just my light, but it is not glossy. It's like a satin finish, because I was looking for some different photo paper. And then I cut I cut the door out because I'm going to have doors on here that are actually going to open, and there's going to be a picture in here. And then I did cut out a few pictures from her Belfries kit. I will probably speed a lot of this up, but I do want to go through and explain everything to you. So I'm going to go back to here a second. I will pause when I ink and stuff. You guys don't need to see me ink. So anyway, I'm going to take all of this out. So I want this to sit up a half because this is going to be dimensional. So that's why it needs to be a half and then an inch, because I need a ½ inch space in between the top and the last fold, because on the front there's going to be something here which is going to need a little space, and on the back it's going to be dimensional, so it needs to be able to sit in here and have space. And then this one as well, on the back side it's going to be dimensional over here, and it's going to need space when it's sitting on top of this one. And then of course we have the front. The back, it'll be open a little, but that's okay because I'm hoping that it'll stand up when I'm finished. If not, I will end up making a base for it to stand up on. So like I said, these are just going to be my back pieces. I will ink everything. I don't think I'm going to sew. If I sew anything, it might just be these, but I don't want it to mess up where I need to put in lights. And that's the part that gets tricky, is I can't really glue anything down because each layer there's going to be light shining through this side and through this side. And then on the back here, this will be a little bit thicker. There will be a piece on the back of here, but that won't matter. And then this side as well, the lights will need to come through here and come through here for what I have planned in my brain. Hopefully it all works out, though as I create, things always evolve. It's just, I can't change how that is. That's kind of just how my brain works. And if I haven't yet, I just want to thank Tracie again for allowing me to join in on this, although she did ask people and we all decided who wanted to join in. I thank her very much for making mine the 29th day. It was a little less pressure, although I think it was more pressure this time because I have to follow, oh my goodness, the amount of inspiration and amazing creations that everybody has been doing. It's just been insane. This has been such an unbelievable project. The story that her and Jay created and the video and these digitals. Oh my goodness, I literally have gone to town. I have printed out everything. Some things have doubles and triples. Some things are in different sizes. But every piece of ephemera, every piece of everything has been cut out and is in cases and ready to go for what I have going on. This is not going to be the inside of this church because of the story, and it's supposed to be like a remembrance place and for all those souls to go to. It's not going to be like a traditional church on the inside. I want it to have like little seating areas where people can go and sit and reflect and just relax and stuff. So that's my idea for the two insides. And then there will be other things involving, you know, the lost souls and things like that. So again, this one's going to fold like this, and it's going to have a box piece down to hold it so it sits up a half an inch. And then the same as this one's going to end up folding, and then it'll sit like this when it's done. And then the back will be a little bit thicker for what I'm putting on the back. So when I'm done, I do believe that this should stand and be like a book box, a folio book box, however you want to call it. But I'm just calling it a book box because it reminds me of like a folded up book. And I could have done 2 books, but for what I need to do, I needed it to be different. So I had to sit and plan all this out. And let me tell you, for something that should have been easy, it wasn't. Anyway, so thank you, Tracie. This was amazing. I can't wait to see what Christmas brings. I know I just put some pressure on you, but I'm looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to Christmas coming yet because, as you know, I've had a very long, extremely hard year. I don't think I've ever worked so much and so many hours and did so many routes. And so my brain was all over the place. Not that I wasn't creating, I was, but I just wasn't filming. I do have a million ideas and things I want to do. It's just getting yourself back out there and doing them again. So that's on me and that's my fault. So I'm hoping it gets better this year. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. School just crossed. Did I say that right? Yes. School just ended recently and summer school is getting close to ending. And then I will be getting a well-deserved 2-week vacation to go see my granddaughter, who is now 6 going on 26. So I'm very excited about that. So anyway, thank you, Tracie. Thank you, Justin, for the amazing story and the digitals. Holy cow, all the digitals she's been creating lately. So anyway, I took the church, blew it up to the tag size of what I needed for my book to hopefully fit in everything I want to fit in. I cut out the door. I also cut out separate windows, so that means these windows also need to be cut out, so I will do that off, but I will kind of show you. I did prep a lot of things I thought I needed to prep that I thought you would pretty much know how to make. I will show you how to do the lights, but I like a lot of detail and a lot of small detail. I'm going to try not to go overboard with this because, you know, I have a lot of other things I want to do too. So I took the door and I blew the door up. So the door used to be, you know, this little small one. It was a little center one in the center. And if I could find the other picture, this one. So that's what the door used to look like. So I took the door and I blew it up and made it bigger so that it can open, and it's got a little latch, and I'm hoping this will hold it closed, and it's not, so I might need to put something on here. I'm not sure why, or I might just leave it sit like that, but there's going to be people in the windows and lights in the windows. So these trees, and I did these on vellum and kind of made a little tuck spot back here so it could look like it's behind the house. I need to go pause. I'm going to go ink this whole folder up because we need it inked, and then we'll start gluing. I can glue down the spines and stuff. I at least need to get that in here and ready, so then I make sure that everything works the way that I want. I just can't get too far ahead of myself. So I'm going to pause right here. I will be back. It'll be like a second pause for you, and I'm going to ink everything. Okay, everyone, so I'm back. This has been the worst night of my life. I went to upload my video and something just told me to check it, and there's no sound the whole second half of the video. So I'm going to try and explain this to you really quick. I'm going to speed through a lot of stuff because I did mute during some stuff that I was going to speed through, but I'm explaining to you now that I did change the color of the file folder and I used a vintage green one instead. I liked it better. I put in the spines so that I have my spacing for the folio, and I'm going to go into next where I'm going to show you how to do the lights. And the first one was a disaster, and hopefully if you need any help with it, please just send me a message and I will make a quick tag or something and show you how to use the lights. They are by Recollections. It's an LED light kit. They do have a new one out now. I got those on clearance, so they did change the way they've made them. They've actually made them better. But I actually find these are pretty easy to work with other than leaving space for the battery. So I'm hoping everybody enjoyed this Creep on June. There were so many amazing creations out there. I just can't believe how involved everybody got and the things that they came up with during this challenge. It was just, or not challenge, but during this collaboration, this Creep on June with the kit. Right now I'm explaining to you how it's going to be a book box and how it's going to stand up and all that I explained to you before. And yes, the spines and everything will make that a lot easier for what I need to do. So right now we're going to work on the front piece that I need to put the batteries in. And I end up putting a piece of acetate on there. So I think I'm going to stop here and, oh, I'm going to show you the batteries now, or not the batteries, the lighting kit and how you make it. So it is by Recollections. I got it on clearance, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to pause here because I'm probably going to cut this part out and then I'll come back. Okay, so this is the part where my brain actually kicks in and thinks about putting a piece of acetate in there because I need those 2 copper wires to run parallel across all of those 3 spaces because that's where lights are going to be. And you have to follow a certain thing because you have to be able to put the little light right in between the negative and the positive connector. So when you're using this tape, you move it over to where you need it, you fold it back towards you, non-sticky side towards you, put a little triangle bend in it, and then you go back the other direction, and that's how you make a turn. So I will you'll see me show you that in a minute. Right now I'm just taping down this piece of acetate. And I'm sitting talking myself through, you know, I'm telling my brain what I need to do to make this work. So I tend to talk out loud a lot when I do that. So I'm going to bring the positive up alongside it. All right, hold on. Now I have my phone ringing. Isn't it always when you're doing something that your phone rings? I could sit here all day not doing anything and my phone would never ring. The minute I start filming or anything, my phone rings. So anyway, I'm showing you how much easier it is with the acetate to follow the trail. And then I'm going to run the negative one up right along next to it. They can run parallel, they just can't touch. And I'm going to run them a little bit next to each other so that I can put these little lights in between them. You'll see as I get there. So I'm going to let this play because this is a part you guys wanted to see. Like I said, if it's not clear enough for you, let me know and I can do another video just making a quick tag or something and showing you how to use these. These lights are actually really easy to use, and I wish they would have had more of them because they're normally $15 and I got them on clearance for $5. So they are really cool light sets if you want to add lights to anything, like any holiday theme things you're making or anything like that. So right now I got just a little too close and I need a little more space, so I'm going to adjust and fix that in a minute. And if you hear noises, I'm just kind of doing things around my desk because I can't just sit here and stare at this. I'm still so beside myself that there is no voice to this video. And after I show you this part, I will probably speed it up again so you don't have to watch all this nonsense. So yeah, so I'm just, you can see how I'm bending it and making the turn so that I can go around the corner. The first time I did it, I was making it way too complicated on myself. It didn't need to be that complicated. Sometimes my brain goes into way overthinking things. I'm not sure why, but it does. And I tend to make things a lot harder than they need to be. I don't know, maybe my brain likes it, the challenge of that. I'm not sure. So yeah, so we're almost done with that. And then I'll put the thing in and show you, we'll put the little lights on and I'll show you how it works. It's actually pretty cool. So I'm just finishing my negative one now. And I know I was out of frame a lot of times too. For some reason, where my webcam is set up, I need to pull my thing closer and then just turn the webcam, because I forget that I need to lean pretty far over to, you know, to stay in frame. And that's another thing that happens when you don't film enough. Now I'm just cutting the extras off, so those won't be in the way. And there we go, and there's our completed circuit. And you can see how they're running parallel to each other, but they're not touching each other. Though that one on the one side, they're a little close. So I'm going to put that in. And then I always put some foam tape so that it isn't constantly pressing it on. I also make sure, for me, to leave room for mine, because I have this thing with wanting to be able to change the battery if it dies. I don't want things that just suddenly then don't work anymore. So another complication, I like to make it so that I can change it and put more batteries in. So that's the other thing I'm thinking about as I'm doing all this. So we're going to put them on now. So they're just these little triangles, and one has a positive side and one has a negative side, just like how we ran the copper tape. That copper tape's awesome. Whoever came up with this idea how many years ago was really cool, because it's like the best way to add little lights to something, because you can put them exactly where you want them. See, we got a light. Now we're going to put the next one on. It's just a thrill of going, yay, there's a light. I don't know. I don't know why I like things that light up and things that move, and, you know, always trying to come up with ways to make stuff do different things. So now we're going to put the second one on. And there we go. Now we have light. So it wasn't getting a full connection, but now it is, because now we have light. And I'm always testing to make sure everything works out right. And after I get through showing this, I think I go off to do all the rest of them, and then I'll be back. But I have to make sure this one's working correctly before I do that. And I think I just didn't have the tape stuck down enough on the acetate, so it's all working now. And we're going to put the last little light on. And there we go. And then we will have 3 lights. Oh, I think I have something touching or not touching where it should be. There we go. Got to make sure the little gold parts on each side are making contact. See, there you go. Now it's working. So yeah, so that's done, and I think I'm going to I'm already thinking ahead to the other side. See, this is what gets me in trouble, is when I start thinking ahead. And that's how mistakes happen and stuff. And there we go. All the lights lit up. Main goal, make the lights light up. Alright, so I think I'm explaining that I'm going to go ahead and get all this stuff put together. We might put this together first, or I'm not sure, so we'll see. I might actually put the front on before I leave, so we'll see. And then I'll go ahead and go forward and get through this video, because it was a long video, but I also planned on speeding up a lot of it so you just see what I'm doing without having to hear me talk about it. So I'm telling you now about, you know, if you're making a straight line or if you're going to make a curved, what you want to do. So that's all I'm saying right here. And we'll see. I think I'm going to end it here. Yay, we have lights. Alright, so let's see what happens here. If I pause, I might pause and then skip a bunch. Oh, now I'm back. Yep, I've already put on, I went ahead and put on the windows and I double layered them. One is a smaller one and then another one behind it. And if you can see, I made the windows bigger than they actually were before, because just like the door, I made it bigger because of the lights behind it. And in the one on the left, there is one of the ghosts on acetate, so that she's peeking out the window, like one of the souls is already in the church and she's looking out the window, and you can kind of see it when I light up the light. You can kind of see it right now, but the light is like right by her eyes. So yeah, she's in that window and she's wearing one of those masks. So that's the little girl that has the mask on in the digitals, and it was just a little added feature. I mean, I know it's there, so I think that's what I'm telling you too, is that I know it's there. It's just part of the nonsense that I like to do. See, you can see her. Yeah, you can see her. Good. I wasn't sure. Sometimes you're not sure. Like when I'm looking at it, my camera doesn't look that clear, and my lighting issues are just ridiculous. So now I'm going to explain the door, which I have to have dimension. I want the door higher than the windows. And then I'm going to put a frame on it, and I'm going to explain to you that I changed the way I did the doors because I couldn't find a way to get them to close. So I'm actually going to add little pieces of fabric into them, like we do when we make journals and stuff, or a flip page on a journal, just so they stay closed. That's all. So I think that's what I'm doing. And oh, and then I made the gable for the roof as well. That's what that piece is, and I actually make it three-dimensional too. So I just like things to have dimension, especially when I'm making, like, I called it a book box, but it's kind of like a church, so it has to be dimensional because the inside's dimensional. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do to make the door. Yeah, I'm explaining to you how the doors wouldn't open before and how I remedied that problem. Look, I'm not even live and I still can't talk. Sometimes I think voiceover, I was thinking about doing voiceovers from now on, because it's very hard for me to create and then talk about what I'm doing, because my mind's trying to do what I'm doing and then think about all the important things I need to say, which I never do. Like, I'll remember for a quick second and then I forget the things I want to tell you. Like, I showed you the embossing glaze, but I didn't tell you anything else. Like, it like comes and goes in spurts. So I think if I do voiceovers, I'll be more alert to those things because I'm seeing it, and I'll be able to say what I'm seeing, you know, so then I'll remember. So yeah. So I think I'm gonna ink the base and put the door on. I don't know what I could possibly... Oh, I'm trying to fix the icky lighting at the moment. That is just... I don't know. I can't tell you what is going on with my lighting, that it just refuses to work. It just has a mind of its own. It's either too dark or too bright, and I have all these new lights. I just can't get a handle on it, and I can't figure it out. Yeah, so I'm inking the door right now, the base, because I forgot. You know, I prepped everything, inked everything, and there's always things you forget. Let's see how long we can take to ink a little door. All right, all done. There we go. So now I'm going to put the door together. Maybe. I think yeah, see, here I am. I'm out of frame, and I apologize for that. So I'm actually putting, I'm putting the material in between the two pieces of the door, the front and the back. And then I'm going to put them underneath that extra trim piece that I put on there. Yeah, so I'm cutting it, yep, not even in frame. Yeah, so I'm going to have to move my stand and make it tilt out a little bit more so that it's closer to the edge, because I tend to work at the edge and drop everything on the floor, because I must like dropping things on the floor, because I do it all the time. And then I'm under my desk searching for things. So I hope you guys all learned a lot and found lots of inspiration and joined in. I am struggling just to keep up, you know, because I am at work all day. So by the time I get home, I can only imagine how many projects I've missed in Tracie's group. Like, I'm sure I could go on forever and ever, like the group, then the YouTube channels, and I've been following quite a few, and this is how we find new crafters and new creators. I like that we had some Instagram channels this year. That was awesome, and it took me a little bit, but I figured out how to share the Instagram, because every day I've been sharing the video for every day on my Facebook. And yes, if you're wondering, I'm sitting here drinking coffee while I'm doing this, because it's been a long morning. Something just told me to, you know, instead of just speed up, go watch the video. And I thought I was going to have a heart attack, because this happened to me not last year, but the year before Christmas time, when it was my day, and the whole tag I made, there wasn't a sound. I was just like, and I don't know what makes it do that. And I was like, oh my goodness, what just happened? This is crazy. So yeah. Alright, yep, I'm finishing putting the doors on. This was much better this way. I don't know, I like to have doorknobs, and yeah, you would think I was building a little model home, the way I get carried away with some of this stuff. But this is, you know, I feel like I've been in a slump for a while, and this is the kind of stuff that gets me out of a slump. It's once I start all the little tiny stuff that you can do, then my brain just keeps getting more and more ideas. And like, this project could have grown into a whole giant house. But I tried to keep it down, because, you know, I could go overboard, and I usually do, but I was trying not to this time, because I know sometimes people don't like the long videos. And if you don't like the long video, you, by all means, like, I'm going to speed up a lot of it, but you can go ahead, go right to the end, and just watch the flip through of everything, and that's it. You don't have to watch the whole process, though I know some people like to see the different things going on, but you can still, you can click through that as well, too. Alright, my desk is almost clean, because I couldn't even see my desk before. Maybe this is what I needed, to sit here and do this, and then, you know, clean my desk. But I don't want to make too much noise. So now I'm going to put on the frame over this. That'll cover those pieces of fabric. Just like that. And then I got to open the doors and test them and make sure they work. And they do. It's always a plus when everything works out. You would think I was crafting really slow, but I'm really not. It's just that tedious little stuff all the time. And I'm going to glue the door on the front. Do I glue it on yet? And then here's me with these giant scissors. How often do you see me use giant scissors? Rarely. Alright, I think that's done. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. Oh, I'm putting the gable on now. That I cut out of some really thick bookboard. I would say chipboard, but that's actually bookboard I was using. So I can't put that, I can't glue it all the way down yet because again, I have to put something in there that goes inside the doors. But that one piece isn't glued on yet, so I can do that later. So I can actually put the door on. And there we go. We have doors. Woohoo! Okay, now I'm going to go off for something else. Wow, it seemed like it took me forever to do that, right? I might have to speed that part up, because who wants to watch that? That seemed like it took forever. Alright, quit fiddling with the doors. They work just fine. There you go. Leave it alone. Okay. What am I getting? I don't even know. Oh, the two little pieces that need to be painted. So I'm going to pause here and then I'll be back because I'm going to fast forward through this because you don't need to see this part. Okay, and of course I had to add a little crow. Some of it I like to keep a little creepy for Creep on June, like the little girl in the window and the crow, and you'll see some other stuff as I get going that I add in just to, you know, to add to the Creep on June. Well, except I think I add a cat too in a minute. There's a cat. No, the cat can't go there. We got to put the cat on the other side. There you go. Because that's our push button, so I need to put something there. I think I'm going to put one of the crow wax seals there. I actually have one right here. Maybe, yeah, I think I'll use the crow. The crow or the skull. I'm not sure which one yet. But that'll be my button. Yeah, see, that's the one I had. But that's not the one I have in my hand right now. I don't think. Now I'm talking to you about my three-dimensional cat. And that is one of the cats from last year's kit that I was using and making them all dimensional and stuff. Alright, so that part's done. Let's see what's coming up next. Let me see if I can pause for a minute and see what's going on. Okay, so I have went off and finished all the battery packs, and I don't know what is going on. Like something got cut out somewhere, and now it's not there. I'm showing you the little flip in the front of the church. And the doors that open. I know I showed you somewhere where all the little batteries work. I don't know why it's not showing it now unless I'm past that part. And I'm reading you my day, what my day says. So if you guys go on and look, you can see what day 29 says. And I'm showing you how I forgot a piece of paper for the spine. So that's the center. And so all my batteries are done. And I think I'm going to show you where they all light up. Yep, there's the two on that one. There's one at the bottom, one at the top. That one is, I thought it would show through, but it's the battery from the other side. So you won't see that anyway. It's going to be covered up with something. And then there's one battery on this side right there. So I kind of tried to put them in specific locations where I knew I was going to put something special. So then that one, you push that little frame, and there's the third one. And I was going to put one on the back, and I might end up doing that now because of how the back turned out. It would look so much better if it had light in it and you could see through it. So yeah, and then I'm telling you again about the ones on the front and just the process of what I had to go through to make it, and then that's the back that you're going to see through those other two pieces that open up later on. So let's see where we're going now, because I think we're going to decorate these 2 pages. So I'm going to end up not talking. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, but then I'm going to not talk because I'm going to speed it up so you don't have to watch me in slow motion do these 2 parts, because you can kind of get a gist from it while I'm doing it quickly. So let's see if we can get this going, because I'm like, I'll show you what I'm going to do. And then I end up losing stuff. And so I'm telling you how I made the frame. So this is that picture right there. I waxed it with beeswax so that it shows up better through the light. And then I took the outside of the frame from it. I printed out 2 and I cut it out to give it some dimension. And I also embossed all the frames with one of those little tools. And I'll show you that in a little bit. And I'm showing you the embossing powders I use: Lost Shadow, Vintage Photo, and Salvage Patina. That's the only thing I show you of what I use today. See, I just get in these wild spurts of weird things. Alright, see, and I want to decide where I want to put it so that you can see the light through there. And I don't want it right over one of their heads, so... And then that little guy, I'm showing you how he tucks in because, you know, I like to be able to have things always work. So I want to be able to take out the battery and change the battery. So he just tucks right in a little cut I put in that page, and he's on a brad. So, and then he's also the button. So you just push him and then he lights up the lights. So I'm going to show you what I did with each frame, and that I use crackle paste on a lot of the pictures. I know you can't see it on that one, but it's on a lot of the pictures, and that frame is done in Salvage Patina. And again, it's embossed with one of those little tools. And I'm explaining that to you now. And I will probably end up going back to my project and adding some more little final touches to it. See, there's the tool. I have them in all different sizes. I used a really small one, though, for this part. So I'm just explaining to you what I did. And I know there was a picture that went to this now. I'm going to look for the dang picture. There we go. It's the 2 girls, but I don't end up using them. And then that one, I thought we had to have some of the lost souls be in the picture. So that's one of the ladies, and I put her on overhead transparency that you can print on. And then I put just a piece of vellum behind it that I used a Vintage Photo on just to make it a little bit darker, just so she lights up a little bit too. And I'm going to do my frames crooked because I kind of think it looks kind of cool. I don't always have to have... I like things the same and right, but they don't always have to be straight. So I thought it looked kind of cool with them not being straight. And then again, I did the crackle paste on that one as well. So I'm showing you how I'm going to put these pictures on each side. So that side's going to get some, and the other side. And then I think I have a little mask that's going to just sit in there like that. And then this is where I'm going to come back and add some crows to some of the pictures too, because, you know, got to have dimension. And then I was going to start gluing and speed it up, but then I'm like, well, I might as well show you what ones I'm putting down on the other side so that when I'm going fast, you know what's going on. And I'm showing you the beeswax, how you can see through it. And I haven't used it in a long time. I really do like it on projects. And my Fabri-Tac still holds that down just fine. And I just filled it, but I used so much of it when I was doing all the big tags, gluing them all in the battery compartments and everything. I used a lot of glue today, so. Well, I used a lot of glue when I made it. Alright, so I'm showing you which ones. And again, I keep losing pieces, and they're like right in front of my face. So that's another one. That was like, I used beeswax on that as well, so that it lights up right behind her. I mean, I want her in a specific spot so that when I push the light, then she'll light up. And that one, those two twins, they're done with crackle paste as well. I got to use all the stuff I haven't used in a while. Sometimes you get so much in your brain that you forget all the really cool stuff you can use. Now I'm trying to figure out, I'm thinking I did stuff on the wrong page, but I didn't, because those pictures don't go on that side. And I'll figure that out in a minute and you'll see. So let us get past that. So I put 5 pictures on each side and I'm like, wait, something's wrong here. But that's because you're putting them in the wrong place, Laurel. Alright, so yep, I'm like, oh, I put it on the wrong side, but nope. I didn't put it on the wrong side. My brain's just not working. Stop it. Leave it alone. Okay, you're like, yeah, no, yeah, no. Then it dawns on me. I'm like, no, wait. Wait, yep, those don't go there. I'm still thinking they go there, but I know they don't. I'm like, I can just put these 2 girls here. It'll be fine. It'll work out. Because, you hate when you're filming something and things just don't work out or you can't find things. And this is where I remember, I'm like, never mind. They don't go on this side. Something else goes there. There you go. Turn the page. All right. Now we're going to put them all down. And then we'll fast forward as I glue them all down because it's just painstakingly slow, which I could probably fast forward through all of this as well and figure it out right instead of putting it on the wrong side, which I may do. I'm just trying to put the order here so I can then just start gluing. And then that's when I'll stop talking once I start gluing all of these. Alright, find the last one, Laurel. It's like right in front of you. It's underneath the other piece and I just don't even see it. But with my OCD, those little things just, they will drive me crazy. I will spend the entire time looking for something instead of just continuing. Yeah, see, I like them crooked. I think it looks kind of cool. There we go. And I'm telling you that. Alright, I think I'm going to start inking now, so I'm going to go and not say anything and just get past this. Okay, now I'm showing you how I also did 2 lamps, one for each side, but I'm going to put those on later because I need to add something else to them. And all the lamps and stuff like that I did with triple thick, just so they're, and I used that embossing thing on them to make them puffy, to make them look like actual lights. So I'm just showing you where they're going to go, and then we'll actually put those on later because I need to add stuff to them. So I think now we're going to go on and work on the middle page. So let's see. Yep, or the next page. So now we're going to start decorating this one. And this is the place I told you about, which is going to be a little room that you can just go and sit and read some books, or, you know, just relax and, you know, be with the spirits and, you know. And here I'm showing you, this is my, remember when I said you would see the Reverend? This is the ghost of the Reverend, the one from the 1700s. And I did him on some transparency as well. Sometimes I just think it turns out better than just doing it on, you know, vellum and stuff. It's just much clearer of a picture, so I did it like that. And then I'm putting a piece of like very thin vellum that I inked with vintage photo behind him, just to cause a little shadow, so you could see him a little better, so he's not just black and white. And I'm cutting with these big giant scissors instead of using my fussy cut scissors. Come on now. I'm just causing myself undue grief. So I'm going to kind of put my pieces down and explain them each to you, and then lay them out so I know exactly where they're going. So that's the bookshelf, and I actually took a piece of book board for the top and the bottom and painted them both and stuff to look like wood, again, to give dimension. So that one's got to get glued on, because I glued the bottom one on, because the bottom one also has the brad where the bookshelf's going to move to be able to get to that that battery box on that side. I'm not sure how I forgot to glue that down, but I did. There. And then that book right there is sticking out. And then that book is actually falling off the shelf and is dimensional. So I just like doing the odd things. Just, you know, just because. I don't know. And then I also did a skull and did it with crackle paste. It's just a head, and that's to add again to the little creep for Creep on June. And that's going to go right in the center of the bookcase. And that's actually going to be, when it's in place, what you'll push to turn the light on. You know, gotta have a little bit of creep in there for Creep on June. Even though it's a really amazing kit, there, you know, it can still be a little bit creepy because it is Halloween. So, man, my paper stuck down. I had it lifted up to be able to put that brad in, so the paper stuck down. So that's what I'm trying to fix at the moment. It's very hard to just sit here and not move and watch a video and try and remember. I couldn't even tell you and remember half the things that I said, so I don't even know. The last time I did a voiceover like this, it didn't work the first time. I think I had to do it 3 times. I was not a happy camper, because by then you've pretty much lost all your thoughts and you have no idea anymore the things you want to say or should say. I just know once I got going on this, which is generally how it is when I'm playing with Tracie's digitals, is once I get going, then my mind just gets going, and I want to turn everything into something dimensional. I mean, I still love the little witch's house all out of boxes that I made last year. That was really cool. And that'll be up at Halloween time. It was up last Halloween as well. So I'm talking about how I need something up there because that bookshelf swivels so that you can get to the battery. And it was a lamp, but now it's too big with this lamp where this lamp needs to be. I'm getting stuck on the hole. So I want the lamp right over the light so that when you turn it on, it looks like that one side is lit up, you know, because it has the triple thick on it. And I forgot to put a chain on that one as well, so I need to put a chain on that lamp as well. And here's me, you know, just got to get it exactly right. So I just don't know when to stop. Just leave it be. Yeah, see, because now that lamp won't fit because of where I have the other one. So I did find, which I'll put them on, I did find some books when, you know, when I'm filming, I'm in such a rush, I don't want to take out time to look for stuff, because with me, I know I'll just keep looking and looking and looking until I find it, so it's better just to leave it for later. I had so much fun making this project, and now I'm like, I didn't do my clock, and it just looked so out of place, so we are going to emboss it, and that's a mirror I did with, like, those little packets, you get those little metal tops to them. That's what's behind there. It's a silver one. And then I put the lady, she's also on acetate, and I put some vintage photo behind her as well to make it look like there's an old lady visiting and she's looking in the mirror. And this is where I think I bring the Reverend in. Oh, first my chair. Nope, my rug. So I made the rug out of the one that has the table on it, and I just cut the table off. Then I took and cut an oval out of some regular paper and put it in the center. And that's my chair. I was showing you how it was puffed up and looks three-dimensional like a chair, because again, I use that embossing tool. And I just use it on a, like, this soft, not too soft and not too hard, of this half-inch foam that I have that works perfectly for that kind of stuff. And then we have yet one more mask. Oh, and then the spider that actually, does that not look real sitting on my hand? Yeah, it's kind of creepy. But I'm going to put it right on the corner of that mirror because I think it's perfect for Halloween. Again, a little bit of the creep. And then I lose it and don't even realize it's right there in front of my face. It's because it's upside down. But it's white. You think I would have saw it? So I start moving stuff and then I lose it. So I'm using glue stick on the Reverend because I want to make sure that those two items stick together. And now I think we're going to, I'm just going to lay him in. Oh, first I got to put him on there. That might help, Laurel. There he goes. And I'm just tucking him into spot. And I was trying to make him like 10 feet tall. I'm like, well, I don't think he's taller than that or that. And I just want him like that he's visiting. He's just kind of coming through the wall behind the clock. Just trying to decide where to put my chair. And then I'm going to end up taking that clock out and putting it back where, you know, putting it back. Taking the clock out and embossing it because it's really driving me crazy that I forgot to do it because it's going to look so cool. What is that? Oh, the little book I created. I made a little book with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Just, and doesn't it look like it's sitting right on that chair? Alright, so now I'm going to start gluing it, but see, now I dumped the spider. See him? He dumped right upside down on the lamp. And I didn't even notice that. Then I start looking for the spider. Because that's what I do. So we're going to go past this part because you don't need to see me glue it all down. Okay, so now we're done with that side. We're going to start working on the centerpiece, and I'm explaining to you how they're going to go one inside the other, and I have acetate at different levels, so I can do that 3D effect that I like, where it looks like you're, ooh, pulling my glasses off. It looks like you're looking into the background. So when you open it up, you'll be looking back at, you know, the new gravestones and the flowers that Rose, believe it's Rose planted. Was it Rose or is she Alice? I forget. You know, and I only listened to the story a bunch of times. So I'm going to go ahead and start building that, and I'm going to put these papers on the back. I have my magnets, so you really don't need to listen to me do all of this either. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm just putting paper on. Okay, so I'm done with all that, and the book box, or whatever you want to call it, the little church is done, and I am going to do the flip through for you now. I don't know what I'm talking about. I think I'm just, oh, I'm explaining to Tracie. Oh, Tracie. So, I was so concentrated on my day, I never looked at your day. And something I was doing, I went and looked, and yours talks about the plaque and the church and stuff, and I'm like, oh my goodness, did I do this wrong? Because all I could think about was something after the Reverend that involved the new church and stuff. So if I took anything from your day, I am so sorry. If I would have had time to start a new project, I would have, but sometimes you just got to go where your brain takes you, and this is where mine took me, and I had the church. So I thought I was supposed to do something with the church, so I'm really sorry, but I had so much fun, and I love the way the piece turned out. So again, I'm telling you how much I love this piece with the gate and the ghost, and then you open it up, you open up the gates, and you walk up to the church. When you open up the doors, there's my day, and the cat, and the lights, and my one on my left is all constantly being a little testy. I'm not sure why, but I love all the dimension on there. Excuse me. So then you open it, and you have all your people to the left, and then you push the one little guy at the bottom, and they light up. Oh, and then I'm showing you that I added chains to the little lamps that I had put in. And then this side, and that one at the top lights up. Again, I only put one on that side. And then on this one, I only put one. Oh, that's the one thing I didn't talk about. The plaque that I created, I made up this little saying, and I read it to you. And let's see if I can read it to you, because I'll have to open mine. It says, "This church is dedicated to all those who came before us, those who settled here and built up the land and perished here. May it stand as a final resting place for all the wandering souls." So I made that little plaque because mine, you know, in the church they talked about building a plaque. And then I'm just showing you the last page again and how the lamp lights up. Excuse me. And I will show you the dimension as I open the doors to go out the back of the church. I'm just going over everything with you again. And the spider up there. And then I like the two butterflies, and there's magnets, so it kind of holds it down. And then if you hold it up, you can see the dimension a little bit. Like I said, I think it needs the light back there, but it's very dimensional because they're on 3 different layers. And then on the back, I put a picture because I thought it needed to be covered up a little, so that's what I'm explaining. Because you can see the white of the back of everything that I glued down. Close that up. And like that. And I just have to make a closure for the side thing. And there's the back, the picture that I put on. And then it does stand up. So yeah. And I'm going to put some kind of name or something down the spine. I just haven't decided what I want to do yet. So that is the finished project. And thank you again, Tracie. This was so much fun. I hope everybody loves this. Sorry I had to do a voiceover. I don't understand why I have so many problems lately. But I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Make sure to go watch Tracie's tomorrow. And I will see you all soon. Don't forget to get out there and create something.